Right, yesterday I took the carbs off my CB750 K0. They are the early bank of carbs that actually have cables that adjust the individual slides rather than levers. So they're a little bit more complicated. Right, I've already stripped down 2 of them. I'm actually quite pleased that they're not in a very bad condition whatsoever. I've got some rebuild kits, but I'm going to try and reuse as many of the jets and things that were originally in there because they're not worn, they're not corroded, they should be okay. Having dealt with these 2, I'll then show you how I deal with the other 2, a little bit more detail. They do come in 2 pairs, joined together by the fuel rail. Right, let's get on with it. So, just putting the body back together for these carbs. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the float, its lever, or its pin, and the fuel valve in there, because I'm going to deal with them later when I'm balancing the floats, making sure the float right's height. I've just put the drain screw back in. And I think some kind person in Detroit in the past drained these before they put it away for 40 years, which is really excellent. Just nip that up. I'll just put them to one side. So, these have been through the ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah, they came up really well. I'm very impressed. I didn't take everything out, but the things I did, yeah, were just to make sure that the jets looked okay and give them a ultrasonic clean as well. So, first thing, I'll put the main jet back in. It's the one that's got all the little holes in it, yeah. So it goes in here. This is the one the needle jet will come down into. Now, it does come into 2 parts, which I haven't bothered. It doesn't screw fully in, and in my experience, nipping this up with a flathead is sufficient. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, yeah, it's not gonna go anywhere, don't worry about that. Right, the next thing, the valve for letting the fuel in, where the needle jet, the valve jet goes in, the fuel jet goes in, the fuel valve, we'll get there. Let's not forget, let's put a little washer on there. It's a fibre washer, not an O-ring or anything on this one. Yeah, we get that started. Now you've got to remember, the metal that these carbs are made out of isn't the best in the world. So don't start setting your torque wrench up to levels that you could do your studs on your car wheels with. I'm just using a socket and I'm just going to do it hand tight and then nip it up. No leverage whatsoever other than what I can do with my hand. Right, so we've got that in. Yeah, the valve from there will go in there later. What we're on to next? Must be the idle control, has a spring on it. You need to check it goes in the right side because these carbs are made so that it could go in either. This is a carb that's going to go on that side, so it wants to go on the outside so you can actually get at it. We'll bang that in. There's obviously no setting to that at the moment. Yeah, just see it poking through inside here. Absolutely no problem. Next thing I'll put in is the pilot jet. I know I've already blown them through with a airline, but just in case. Yeah. Again, it's on a flat-headed screw. Always be mega careful that you don't cross-thread them. I like to go backwards first, so you feel where it just clicks. And even then, you see, it's still not. If you feel any tightness whatsoever, back it off out. Do not cross the threads, you'll be really regretting it. Again, it just needs a nipping up, nothing drastic. Where are we on to? Air valve. goes in there. Make sure the spring's on it. Now this one, for this bike, screw all the way in. Now, these were set when I took them out at 1 turn out. So I'm going to set them at that again, because I'm going to assume the bike was running like that. There's something that you'd fiddle with when you're setting up your idle, and just to make sure the final bit of low running is right. So just set them one out. Now the final thing I've got here, I think, is just a plug. Yeah, there's a little washer on it, and it must be, where does he, yeah, perhaps been a drill in for something else in it. Right, so now I'm going to take these two off and strip them down and give them a good cleaning. I really like the engineering they have on these things. This bar that keeps the carbs in line, absolutely brilliant, yeah, and it's nice and light as well. So I'd already loosened these. You've probably seen maybe in one of the other videos. It didn't need the administrations of an impact driver, but sometimes they do. A little bit of a tap. So let's get them out. Now, besides the bar, the two things that are holding these carbs together is the fuel rail in between those two. Each of the pairs has a separate fuel rail in the middle. And this bar, this linkage for the choke. So just whipped them out. My handy little receptacle. These are held on by some split pins. So let's just take one of the split pins out. I'm not going to dismantle them 100%. It's always nice if you've got a whole set of new split pins so you can put them back in when you're finished. I can't remember meeting many people who have, yeah. So I always tend to end up reusing them. It came out, not quite sure where it went. There it is. Right. Lifted out a pair of pliers. So that'll come off there into my box. Make sure I got the washer. That will come off there and just sit there. So now, lift off that bar. I have two carbs. A bit of junk falling off. One thing holding them is that, and that's held in by two O-rings. Should put in for cleaning. So, two separate carbs. I really like to keep all the parts for that together and all the parts for that together, so I get a little bit anal about using jars and things and keeping them all lined up, so do bear that one in mind. I'm going to start with the inner one first, and although I'll put the joint bits in here, I'll put the inner bits with that one. So first things first, float chamber, held on by a spring. Try not to scratch or damage anything too much, so use things that are not too sharp. You just need to get the spring started, and then it should come off easily enough. Of course, if you've got really strong fingers, you'll probably be okay anyway. This will be stuck on rubber hammer or end of a screwdriver. I'll just turn it over for no reason. I'll turn it back. There we go. Look at that, how clean that is. I can't remember opening up float chambers that look that clean. The pin that holds the float, it's nice and free. Usually you're fighting corrosion by now. Made in Japan, old factory, when craftsmanship was still of the highest regard. And then the fuel valve doesn't look to be too worn. Into that. So, got the float chamber and all the bits for the float off. Next thing to do is I'll take out the valves and the jets. Right, the fuel valve, easily cracked, really shouldn't be in very tight. Comes with a nice little fibre washer. In there. And main jet. Yeah, as I've stripped these down, I do wonder if I'd have just thrown fuel in, I suspect this would just have been fine. It's the outside of the carbs that are the dirtiest. The pilot jet. Now these are stamped. This one's a 40. Let me just look at the, see if I can see it on the main jet as well. I didn't look before. Is that stamped on? No. Is it on there? No, I'm not quite sure. I'll have to look up. Oh, I think it is stamped there, but I'd need better glasses than I've got. So we've got all the main jets out. The idle screw, along with its spring. And there's a blanking plug, there it is. Do take lots of pictures, because even if it's only half an hour, you'll be going back and thinking, oh, which one went where? And that's got a nice little washer with it. Anywhere else that I need to think of? Oh, the air screw. Now I'm just going to check. Half, one. So on all of these, the air screw's been screwed out one full turn. And I'll put it back exactly how it was. End of that's got a little bit of carbon on it, but nothing of any great worry. And there should be a spring, and there's the spring. So that is the body stripped down almost completely. One other thing just to show you that I forgot, the drain screw, and that's we'll clean that separately while we're at it. I might give these float chambers just a bit of a cleaning before I put them in the ultrasonic, just to get the big crud off. That's all right. So we've got that. And as soon as I saw this, I knew I was going to stick it into my thumb. Right, let's see how we go. I did last time, it was keeping me up, wasn't it? Let's take the gasket out. Now this is fossilised, so just doing this for replacing this gasket is probably a really good idea. Now I'm not sure if someone's been in before and put some sealant in as well, because there's a little bit of gunge there. So maybe they've had a bit of a leak or something. I'm not planning to reuse these at all. There's definitely been some sort of glue or something, some sealant put on. And if you compare that to a new one, I think you can see the difference in the flexibility. Right, so that's that one stripped. I'll strip the other one and then we'll have a look at the ultrasonic cleaner. Don't laugh, I've only got a small one.